Guys, welcome back to the channel, and today is a very special game indeed. I'm meeting up with James from 3 Pointed Circle with these fantastic painted Death Spectres and Storm Eagles. They have come to defend this Shrine World from the onslaught of High Fleet Orca, and it promises to be a fantastic battle. High Fleet Orca is making advancements across the lines, and the Storm Eagles and Death Spectres have bolstered their defences, ready to meet the onslaught of the High Fleet and the Swarm Lord himself. It's 2,000 points, it's cleanse and control, and it's going to be bloody. Let's have a quick look at the forces and the objectives. So as I said, it's cleanse and control. We've got 6 Tyranid eggs. We've got objective marker 1, objective marker 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. So the Tyranid forces, we're running a combined arms detachment. We've got a Tervigon with crushing claws and electroshock grubs. Her psychic power was onslaught, and a unit of 10 termagants. We've got Spawn of Cryptus, which is actually in the building underneath. We have a Toxicrene. We've got 2 units of 10 Hormigants, both with adrenaline sacs. We've got a unit of Zoanthropes with a Neurothrope. Their psychic power was the Horror, and of course Spirit Leech and Warp, Lance and Blast. Carnifex with Crushing Claws and Twin Link Devourers, and we've got the Swarm Lord there as well. He is the Warlord today. The Swarm Lord's psychic powers are Paroxysm, Warp, Blast and the Horror. We've got a unit of 2 Venom Thrope. We've got a unit of Tyranid Warriors. 2 of them have Bone Swords, 1 with a Lash Whip. Heavy Venom Cannon. We've got a unit of Ravenous with Rending Claws, and we've got 2 Infiltrating Lictors, which are on the bottom shelf. In reserve, we do have the Hive Crone. Let's have a quick look at James's fantastically painted Space Marines. Right, so James is using Iron Hand chapter tactics today for his Space Marines. We've got Tactical Squad in the Rhino with a Hunter Killer Missile in there. The Chaplain is also in there as well. We've got a Dreadnought with Las Cannon Missile Launcher. We've got a unit of Devastating Marines there, Plasma Pistol and Power Fist on the Sergeant. We've got 2 Grav Cannons, 2 Las Cannons, and the Librarian there is the Warlord. His Warlord trait is allowed to re-roll failed morale feat and pinning checks, and his psychic powers were Precognition, Prescient, and Perfect Timing. The rest of the heavy support slot is taken up by the Vindicator with Stormbolter. For elites, we have a unit of 5 Terminators with a heavy flamer and a Land Raider. 5-man tactical squad there with a flamer, and of course we also have a Assault Marine squad there. Plasma Pistol and Power Sword on the Sergeant, and a flamer in there as well. Whilst on this side of the table we've got a Laspred Dreadnought with Assault Cannon. We've got another 5-man tactical squad with a heavy bolter in there, and of course we've got the Storm Eagles Rhino there as well. We've got a unit of infiltrating scouts with a shotgun and a couple of bow pistols, and looking out across the field we've got a couple of scout snipers with a missile launcher as well. So currently the Space Marines have turn 1 as it stands, but can High Fleet Orca seize the initiative? So do the Tyranid seize? No, on a 5 unfortunately we do not. So Space Marines turn 1. Right, so Space Marine turn 1. James has drew Secure Objective 3, Secure Objective 5 and Secure Objective 4. 3 and 5 are on his side, 4 is on mine. Right, so movement phase, the Dreadnought has pushed forward to get our Assault Cannon in range of the Tervigon to start layer and waste. These guys are getting a 5-inch move through cover just to start pushing forward to meet the embrace of the Gaunts as they hurtle forward. The Land Raider is staying where it is, the Terminators aren't getting out just yet, and the Vindicator is looking to hopefully drop its shell on those Zoanthropes, see if we can double some of them out. These guys, however, are staying still. Now, we're just in the middle of the psychic phase at the moment. and James managed to get off perfect timing. The other power he actually had wasn't precognition, it was Scryer's Gaze, and he chucked 4 dice into it, rolling a 666, then rolled a 6, and then he's just rolled that for his leadership check. So unfortunately the Librarian is pulled into the warp. The power does go up, however, and James is going to discard objective 4 for a new card, and he does get to reroll his reserves next turn, but unfortunately that scores me Slayer the Warlord and First Blood. Right, so James's additional card was Overwhelming Firepower. The Dreadnought and the Predator at this side managed to strip only a single wound from the Tervagon. She managed to make a couple of her cover saves. Meanwhile, across in the centre, we had shots fired in from the snipers. We had the Vindicator target the Zone Throps. Unfortunately, they passed all of the inruns, so weren't doubled out. But the Land Raider fired across. We had the 2 Devastator Marines with the las cannons ignoring cover. And we even had the Dreadnought there with the crack missile and the las cannon firing in. The Swarm Lord has dropped 2 wounds. He's now down to 3 wounds. And unfortunately for James, that was the only damage that he managed to inflict. The dice really not going in James's favour. So at the end of turn 1, the score is 2-2 because James has objective 3 and objective 5, but I have Slayer the Warlord in First Blood thanks to that awful peril result. So let's move on to High Fleet Orca turn 1. Right, so Tyranids turn 1, we drew Ascendancy, we've got Witch Hunter, which we now can't do, and we've also drew Secure Objective 5, which is on James's side of the board. So in the movement phase, the Raveners are pushed forward, the Lictors are still on the bottom shelf though. Warriors pushing forward, as are all of the Hormagaunts, the Swarm Lord, the Venom Thropes, everything is pushing forward. The Gene Stealers are staying where they are for the moment, they're still on the bottom shelf as well, but the Gaunts at this side are pushing forward. The Tervagon has spawned another 10 Termagants and she hasn't doubled out yet. In the Psychic phase, we've got Warp Lance off with these guys onto the Vindicator, and despite getting 2 pens, James managed to save both on his cover save going through the trees there. The Swarm Lord also tried to cast Paroxysm on the Devastators, and we managed to drop their ballistic skill by 1. So it's now onto the shooting phase, but I'm mostly going to be running forward, I feel. Right, so there's been no shooting at all. We've literally ran everything forward. The Warriors, the Gaunts at this side getting a decent run, the Swarm Lord, the Venom Thropes, everything pushing forward. The Toxicrene getting poor rolls, however. And these guys as well, all pushing forward. There's not a single shot being fired on this turn at all. So the only points I score is Ascendancy for D3 as a control objective marker 6, 4, and 2 with the Venom Thrope. So D3 for 2 points plus the 2 I already scored due to James' peril puts me at 4. Right, so Space Marines turn 2 and James has got no prisoners. He's got Overwhelming Firepower and he's got Blood and Guts. Right, so in the shooting phase, these guys, the Dreadnought, the Tactical Squad, are all going to line up to potentially start eating some wounds off the Tervagon there. But the Scouts have moved forward to potentially engage the Termagants and start thinning out the lines. Whilst in the centre, the Assault Marines have leapt into action to start hosing down the Termagants here. The Vindicator is staying where it is for the moment. It wants a couple of more shots at them Zone Thropes, see if we can take them out probably, as well as the Land Raider. Meanwhile, the Storm Talon has come screeching on and is going to lend its assault cannons to the Dreadnought and potentially try and slay the Swarm Lord before he gets too close, because the Scouts here are also going to be firing down into the trees. They can see him hurtling forward. The Death Spectres and Eagle Warriors have laid waste to the Tyranids. The Dreadnought and the Laspred managing to cut several wounds from the Tervagon, but in the end the day was saved by the snipers perched on top of the ruins here, getting a rend with one of the snipers, and as you can see, unfortunately, a lot of the Gaunts absolutely obliterated as the Hive Mind suffered a grave wound. There was a couple of Gaunts left at the front, but these Scouts made short work of that. So that was 2 units down in one go there for James towards no prisoners and overwhelming firepower. Meanwhile, across this side of the board, Shots from the Vindicator managed to double out one of the Zoanthropes and put a wound on the other one from the las cannons on the Land Raider there. The Toxicrene even took a wound due to being slightly covered from the Vindicator. However, the Swarmlord has been cut down. Shots with the Signum on the Grav, the two las cannons and the other Grav managing to do 3 wounds to the Swarmlord, but in the end it was the Storm Eagle's Dreadnought's las cannon went straight through the skull of the Swarmlord, cutting him down where he stands. A scream has gone up in the lines of High Fleet Orca. The hive mind is being torn apart. There's very little synapse left now, but even the Hormigans in the middle here have been torched with the flamer from the Assault Marines and the bow pistols there as well. I don't know whether these are going to be charging in, but the Tyranids have suffered a lot of casualties. Right, so no prisoners and overwhelming firepower. James managed to kill 3 units, the Swarmlord, the Termagants and the Turbogons. So he gets 2 D3. Do you want to roll that on camera, James? So he gets 3 for that and another D3 for 1. So that's 4 points plus the 2 he's already scored, puts him in the lead on 6 points. Right, so Tyranid's turn 2. The Hive Crown is not coming on, but I've also drew overwhelming firepower. I've got Kingslayer, which is guaranteed points, and secure objective 5, so that's going to be very difficult to get now. So miraculously, the Termagants at this side managed to actually pass the morale check and regroup the 3 inches towards objective 6. The Gene Stealers have moved out and are looking to hopefully take on these guys here in the middle. However, the 3 Hormigans there are going to sacrifice themselves to Overwatch with that flamer so that the Gene Stealers can definitely make it in. Meanwhile, in the centre, we've got the Zoanthropes and the Toxicrene pushing forward. The Carnifex is now just within range to get some shots in on the Tactical Marines there. Meanwhile, the Hormigans at this side are going to look to potentially try and charge the Vindicator. They will have Furious Charge, so we'll hopefully glance it. But the Raveners, they're the ones going for the Devastator Marines. And the Lictors at this side are looking to potentially charge that Rhino. So hopefully we should be able to retaliate reasonably well, bearing in mind the casualties that we've taken. So let's move on to a very quick psychic phase and shooting before we move on to assault. Right, so psychic and shooting phase has been very, very quick. We managed to get off Spirit Leech on these guys from the Neurothrope, and James rolled a 6 on 3 dice, not killing any of them at all. The Devourers from the Carnifex managed to take out 1 guy there, but in the psychic phase the lance unfortunately didn't go off. The only other thing that we did was the Venom Cannon from the Warriors managed to do a single wound, but James passed his armor save on these guys. So we've got a few charges that we're going to be making. Hopefully we can claw back some form of victory and kill some Marines. Alright, so combats for the Tyranids not too shabby at all. The Lictors charged in and cut through the rear armour of the Rhino there, and the tactical squad with the Chaplain have jumped out. Meanwhile, the Raveners charged in here. We took 2 wounds to Overwatch, lost the guy with 1 wound thanks to the Marines hitting first due to running through cover, and then the Power Fist Sergeant managed to kill 1 of the Raveners outright, double him out for instant death, and unfortunately we then failed our morale. We didn't do any wounds, and the Ravener has ran 15 inches back here into Synapse range. In the centre, as expected, the spawn of Cryptis, with the sheer weight of dice, the number of attacks they had, and the amount of Wrens going through the tactical squad. So the only thing that I do score is Kingslayer, and I'm going to discard overwhelming firepower because I don't have much shooting at all. So Kingslayer for D3 for 1 extra point. James is on 7 to my 5. Right, Space Marine turn 3. James has drew Big Game Hunter, Blood and Guts, and he's got Assassinate, kill something. Right, so as High Fleet Orca makes its way across the battlefield, the Marines are going to stand proud. They've jumped out of the Rhino. The wreckage have gone up in smoke and looking to potentially start eating some of the Tyranids at this side. The Terminators have leapt out. There's a heavy flamer in there, probably going to torch most of these gaunts as well as the Stormbolters. I'm thinking the Grav and the las cannons potentially taking out the Venom Thropes or even the Carnifex in the middle. We've got the las cannons bearing down on the Zoanthropes. We've still got bolter fire to come in from the tactical squad, this tactical squad, the scouts, and of course the dreadnoughts. I think the Gene Stealers are probably going to go, and then we've still got shots from the las pred at this side as well. So I think James is in a very good position to take out a lot of Tyranids in this turn. Wow, what absolute devastation in the lines of the Space Marines. They have laid waste to the Tyranid scum. There's hardly any Gene Stealers left, and that's thanks to fire from the Scout Squad, the TAC Squad, the Dreadnought with a heavy flamer, and the Marines in here. Cryptus is left on 1 wound with 1 Gene Stealer remaining. The las pred shot in and killed one of the Zoanthropes, and it was the Storm Talon that killed the Neurothrope. Meanwhile, along here, the heavy flamer from the Terminator cut down 7 of the Gaunts, and the Storm Bolters tore through the rest of them. The Devastators and the Dreadnought tried desperately to cut down the Carnifex for James to get Big Game Hunter, but unfortunately didn't quite make it. He is left on 1 wound, just a single wound. And the Lictors here, one of them took a wound from one of the bolters coming through there. So not bad for shooting for James at all. However, there's going to be a couple of charges, I think I'll probably say goodbye to Cryptus. Right, so as expected in combat, the venerable Dreadnought here managed to tear apart Cryptus and the remaining Gene Stealer. So that is going to score James Assassinate and Blood and Guts. Unfortunately, he doesn't quite get Big Game Hunter. So that puts James at 9 points. Turn 3 for the Tyranids. We've got overwhelming firepower still. We've got secure objective 6 and objective 2. So these guys have passed their instinctive behaviour and are going to secure me objective 6. The Hive Crone has come on and is going to use his drill cannon to potentially take out the scouts there. The Toxicrene is going to try and charge the Dreadnought, see if we can do some damage to it. And the Carnifex is hopefully going to try and take out a Terminator or 2. The Gaunt is going to sacrifice himself for the Overwatch. I lost one thanks to filming instinctive behaviour and feeding on themselves, unfortunately. And the only other thing is the Lictors are going to be charging in here. So there's not much left for the Tyranids. There's only the Warriors holding the Synapse. Everything else is now moved out of Synapse range. So this turn is going to be make or break, I think. Let's move on to shooting and probably straight into charges. Right, so we've just done the rest of Tyranid turn 3. The Drill cannon managing to kill all 5 of the scouts down here. The Toxicrene shot its large blast and only managed to kill a single Marine out of all that. All 5 of these guys were wounded, and James passed every single save. In the middle, the Hormagaunt went in and took the Overwatch for the Carnifex. The Carnifex barreled in with an 11-inch charge, cutting down 2 of the Terminators. But unfortunately, due to swinging at the same time, the Terminators managed to bring the Carnifex down. In the middle, the Ravener charged in and unfortunately was killed at Overwatch. Didn't pass any of his saves thanks to the Grav Cannons. But over here, the Lictors hurtled in and managed to kill 5 of the Marines altogether. The Chaplain tanking the remaining of the wounds, and the Chaplain managing to put a single wound on the Lictor there. That combat is tied up thanks to the Chaplain having Zealot. So the only point that I actually score is securing objective marker 6. James is running away with it, and there's not that much left for me to be able to do anything. So let's move into Space Marine turn 4 and see if James can clean up. Right, so Marine turn 4, James got Big Game Hunter, secure objective 2 and secure objective 5. That Rhino, although it hasn't moved, has secured objective 5 twice for James. So we've got the Predator, we've got the Tactical Marines, we've got the Scouts, and the rest of the Tactical Marines probably looking to take on the Toxicrene. That Dreadnought can push forward as well, we haven't moved that yet. The Terminators in the middle are looking to hopefully flame the Venomthropes there and hopefully take those out. We've got the Dreadnought pushing in as well, potentially trying to lend fire and take out the Warriors or these guys here. And we've got the Devastators looking to shoot either way. The Storm Talons even dropped the hover mode, so it can lend its firepower either against the Warriors or the Toxicrene. And we've still got this Land Raider here as well. So Jim's got a lot of options, and I think if Dice Gods favouring today, he can probably clean up here. Right, so it seems the Space Marines have made their mark and almost cleared the Tyranid forces from this ruined city. The Dreadnought here managed to take out the Toxic Cream with the heavy flamer and assault cannons alone. Fire from the tactical squads managed to take out the Termagants at this side. Meanwhile, the las cannon on the Predator managed to kill one of the Venom Thropes. The Terminators killed the other, and then with all the fire from the Devastators and these guys and the Storm Talon managed to kill the remainder of the Warriors. In combat, no wounds were dealt out to the Chaplain. The Chaplain slew one of the Lictors and put wounds on the other one, and the Lictor unfortunately ran. James didn't quite manage to sweep and advance him, but we are going to call the game there. What a fantastic game it's been. James is quite new to playing, so we brought a very friendly Tyranid list, and what can I say, James's models are absolutely fantastically painted. I'll post a link to James's painting page in the description, but it's been an absolute pleasure to finally meet him after 2 years. He's one of the first guys I spoke to getting back into the hobby, and it's a pleasure to finally meet him. Please stay tuned, check out more battle reports on the channel. There is another battle report coming today that will see Harlequins versus Grey Knights. Thanks for watching, folks.